Right then, hello and welcome to the Swedish Touring Car Championship 2. Many thanks to Rivastar and Rick for collectively helping me get this game running, and it does run and it runs very well. The only thing that is different or wrong about this game is that the music in the menus doesn't play. That is the only issue that I've found, but that is nothing to worry about at all. Before we get started, let's just quickly go over the options I'm using. As you can see, the AI opponents are on very hard, AI physics are on high, catch up I've turned off, the speed I've put on mile an hour, which is normal. Graphics, everything is on high because, well, this game came out in 2000, so why wouldn't you have all the graphics on the highest they'll go? Now, there is some issues that I have found. Because this is such an old game, using OBS and capturing with game capture, it doesn't like it, so I have to use display capture. Now, there is a downside with that, and that is the fact that the game does lag and judder in places, either on the replays or during the game itself. So, yeah, if that happens, it's out of my control. I do apologize about that. But yeah, anyway, I did put out a poll, well, I put out two polls a couple of weeks ago on what manufacturer to use, and we had a colossal 134 votes on both of the polls overall. And again, they were because of what manufacturer to use, so I will do them in ascending order. So in last place, unfortunately, with only 8 votes, was the Volvo S40. In joint, well, with joint 12 votes each, was the Honda and Nissan team. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be using the Hondas or the Nissans. With 14 votes was the Ford Mondeo. With 17 votes was the Alfa Romeo. So again, I'm not going to be using the Alpha like I did for the first game. With 19 votes is the BMW 320i. With 20 votes, which is a very big shock for me, is the Chrysler Stratus. Now, I thought because he's such an unusual manufacturer, he would have won, hands down. But no, the winner with 32 votes was the Audi A4 Quattro. Now, there are 4 Audis to choose from in this game. You have the orange, number 20. You have the one I just selected, which is the white and red at number 16. And then you have 2 team cars. You have car number 9, and you have car number 2. I'm going to be selecting car number 2 for this one because, yeah, I thought I'd have a nice little team championship. Now, the thing is as well with this one, is the championship actually does save, so you can actually continue, unlike the first game where I had to restart the game over and over and over again. So I'll just put in the file name STCC2YT, and there we go. So yeah, I'm going to be using the car number 2 then for this one. 18 opponents, so it's going to be 19 cars on the grid, and we're doing a full-size campaign.
Welcome to Karlskoga Motor Stadium, where we meet the spring and the premiere of this year's STCC. This is the time when all the hard work, all the preparations, and all the days of testing will pay off. It is now when the best teams, media and audience are gathered to give this impressive championship the attention it deserves. It is now that the expression, "when the flag drops, the bullshit stops," takes on its real meaning. It is now time to get serious.
Okay, I didn't expect that. Wow, swearing in the introduction, which is something that you don't get on TOCA touring cars, do you? So yes, when the flag drops, the bullshit stops, as he says. So yeah, we're not going to qualify for any of these races either. We're just going to start in the back in 19th place. Another quality of life improvement on this game as well. Anti-spin. Yes, they've introduced the anti-spin because the first game was absolutely atrocious for the car, just oversteering all over the place. So, yeah, we're going to do heat number 1, and we'll see how we get on. 18 laps for the first 2 races, and, yeah, let's just get heat 1 underway.
Heat 1 is about to begin, so let's move down to the track.
Indeed. But as you can see, immediately the graphical improvements, all the brake lights work on the cars, headlights work as well. The rules and regulations are on, so if you go up someone's chuff particularly hard, you will get a black flag and you have to do a stop and go. But anyway, off we go then for race number 1. Will everyone make it through turn 1 clean? Oh, not quite. Oh, Nissan almost having a spin. Now, the AI do get penalties as well. If they go up someone's chuff particularly hard, or my own, they have to do a stop-and-go penalty. And they do have accidents themselves as well. They do crash into each other and spin. So this is a lot more realistic. The cars don't just fly around the turns now either. They actually do brake. Oops. As you can see. Excuse me, pardon me. Now, because of the improved physics of this game as well, is that it makes the game rather easy. Even though I got the difficulty on very hard, it's not really that hard at all. It is very easy to catch up to the other drivers and win. So, as you can see, we're already up into 5th place. Now up to 3rd. And a lap time of 1:21.93. Have a whole host of new drivers in this championship as well. And the regulars from last time. Tommy Rustad for one. Excuse me. Thank you. Now what I'm going to be doing as well is that this game comes with a support car championship, which is the Super Stock Racing series, and it's all in Chevy Camaros. Now when you do a championship, you have the option to select how many laps you race, or if you're going to have a full championship, or how many cars you're going to have on the grid. Now, if you have a full championship with the Camaros, is that they have the same amount of laps as the Swedish touring cars. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the lap counter or the race distance set to 50% rather than the full 100, just to make it more authentic to a support championship, because you don't have support championships usually with longer laps than the main event, unless it's like the Porsche Carrera Cup UK, which has, you know, they're faster cars than the British touring cars, so they're going to have more laps, which is a standard. But with the Camaros, I'm going to put it to 50%, so that means that the lap counter for this race in particular would be 9 laps instead of 18. And it follows the same calendar as well as the Swedish touring cars, so you're going to have 2 races here and 2 races elsewhere, and this, that, and the other. Jan Lindblom, the current leader, who will soon be currently in 2nd place once I get past him. If I can get past him. Outbraking going into turn 1. Like so. Oh, a little bit of oversteer. That is not because of the handling or the physics of the cars, that is because if you tap the rumble strips on the inside, the car loses stability, and it does break loose a little bit. Which is to be expected, you get that on sim games all the time, so. And there we go, so that is a lead taken, and we should get a victory for race number 1. So we're just going to go out for the fastest lap time, same as I do with TOCA 2 and the other TOCA games. Even though this isn't a TOCA game, this is its own entity, but we are going to go out for the fastest lap time. See if we can catch up with some of the back markers as well. So fastest lap at the moment, 1:08.26. Oh no, 1:08.13. Got a long way to go to beat the best ever lap time, which is a 1:06.98. And looks like we're already coming up to some of the back markers. Maybe they went into the pits because of penalties. The car does incur damage as well. All cars incur damage, either from engine or gearbox or tires. Now, the only downside with that is that if you go into the pits to try and fix said damage, they don't. The damage cannot be fixed on this game. So the only thing that happens is that you go into the pits, the car slows down to a stop, and then you carry on again outside of the pits. Oh, and I just locked the brakes. So you got to be incredibly careful when getting your elbows out and trying to pass some of the other drivers. Look at that, we're coming up to a nice little cluster already. This last of this little bunch, it looks like the BMW. One of the BMWs looks like he's last, or it could be the Audi. I would say it's the Stratus, but no, he has a blue stripe on the back of his car. Ooh. Went in a bit too deep. Oh no, I was completely wrong. It is the Honda Accord of Anders Hammer. Sounds like a weapon from... Oh no, I got a black flag. Oops. Yeah, that sounds like a weapon from a Dark Souls game or Oblivion, something like that. You've collected Anders Hammer. Well, thank you very much. So, yeah, now I have to go into the pits. My car's a little bit squirrely, but that's because I'm taking the corners a bit too fast. So, to clear a black flag, literally just dive into the pits. The car starts running automatically, so you don't have to accelerate or anything, or engage the pit speed limiter. The car comes to a stop, and then you go back on your merry way. And there we go. Black flag has been cleared, and I've lost one position. 2 positions. Oh, my car. I think my tires might be going off a little bit. I'm pushing a bit too hard at the start. Gotta take it careful for a couple of laps, get the temperatures back. So we did beat the lap time, well, our previous fastest lap around the track, which is a 1:7:16. Nowhere near close enough to the best ever time, though. Excuse me. Another lap done. We are coming up to half distance after this lap. We went a little bit wide. Went very wide. Now, the AI can be very aggressive on this game as well. They can push you out the way or spin you around. And it's not because of bad AI pathing. No, they actually do physically try and push you out the way, which is very good. And unlike the previous game, you can push the cars out the way yourself as well, if you so desire. See if we can catch back up to Jan Lindblom. Now, there are a few graphical gremlins with this game because it is so old. And that is the fact that the cars go into a low poly version when they're about 50 feet in front of you. And it is very noticeable, but it doesn't, you know, break the immersion per se. It's more noticeable on the Audis, I find. But if you see, we catch up. There you go, his wheels sort of like pop into view. There you go, he's gone back into low poly. Then when we catch up to him, we'll go back into his regular self. It does, the cars do actually change the closer you get to them. They have like multiple versions of the car. I'm assuming that's to save on memory. Because, you know, this was 2000 when things were a lot more primitive. There we go, lap 11. And I will stress again that if you do notice any frame lagging or blipping or anything like that, that is, you know, unavoidable. It's because I'm using a different recording set to capture this game. And again, this game is 22 years old, so... older games do tend to struggle on newer hardware, so... I did suffer with that a lot on the first game as well. So... you know, it's unavoidable, unfortunately. Now, you see, unlike the first game as well, I will make a lot of comparisons between the first and second games, is if you spun, or if you started sliding with the first game, it was pretty much impossible to get it back because of the handling characteristics of the cars themselves and the lack of grip. Not on this one. If you do slide, you can correct it immediately. It is very forgiving. So you don't have to worry about going off into the grass as much. My goal is to try and beat the best ever lap time. Not sure if we're gonna do it though. Give it a damn good go. That is another lap complete. Yeah, yes, we did beat the lap time, 1:06.64. There we go. I can die happy, finally. But I'm actually not going to be happy until I've got into the 1:05s, if that is even possible. We'll soon find out. Catching back up to the back markers again. I won't go up his chuff this time, though. And there we go. There's the Anders hammer. Found in one of the caves during the Elder Scrolls games. It does sound like a quest item. It's like, oh, go into the Dwarven caves to collect the Anders hammer. To progress the story. Otherwise, Alduin would rip your arms off, sort of thing. Pushing a little bit too hard again. Excuse me. Out the way. No blue flags. One of the newcomers, Thomas Nystrom. Good run out of the last corner. Ooh, there you go. See, he tried to turn me around there. Didn't succeed. Oh, a little bit wide. Now this game as well comes with a hell of a lot of camera angles. I'll demonstrate that when we get onto the main straight, otherwise it's a bit dodgy doing it here. Another new driver, Nicholas Carlson. I was going to say Karlstrom then, but nope, that's Carlson. Ooh. So, yeah, let me quickly go through the camera angles that you have on offer. You got the regular chase cams, far chase, you have TV cameras, bonnet cam, and then back in car. So yeah, they do give you a lot of variety when it comes to the different camera angles you can choose, which is very nice. I think the previous game only had like 3 views or something. I might be wrong, I can't remember. Oh, it's Frankie Valli. Where's the Four Seasons? Get past him. Ah, there's the other ID. Haven't caught up to my teammate yet though, so he might be a bit further ahead. But yeah, again, unlike the first game as well, I will continue to make these comparisons. Is you don't get 2 of the cars exactly the same. So, like before, I was in the Alfa Romeo car number 15, and my teammate, Thomas Shee, I think, was also in car number 15, because they didn't program in the fact that 2 cars were going to be the same on the grid. This one, they've overcome that by having 19 opponents, or 18 opponents with 19 cars to choose from. So, whichever car you chose, there wouldn't be a repeat of it on the grid. Excuse me. Which is very nice. So I'm in car 2, and there isn't another car 2. It's just my teammate in car number 9. There you go. I'm going to demonstrate by pushing him out the way. As we're coming up to the final lap. I didn't hear what he said. The last judging one now, don't use those brakes or something? Oh no. Sounds like he was talking through a pillow. And we are miles ahead of second place. Ooh. Last double apex corner. And we got our first victory in race number 1. Nice one.
Here's the summation of the race results. A Heat 1 victory for the new Audi driver, and also his first victory this season.
And there we go then, so not a bad way to start off a new racing championship weekend with a victory in race number 1, but we have to do it all over again tomorrow for another 18 laps, so I will leave it here for now. Thank you very much for watching this new series of STCC 2, and I will see you tomorrow for race 2 of the weekend. Bye for now.